Craziest things in history that really happened. When Larry Walters was a kid, he had dreams about soaring high above the clouds. After high school, he applied for the U.S. Air Force, hoping to become a fighter pilot, but the Air Force rejected him because Larry had poor eyesight. Eventually, he found work as a trucker. Then he got a part-time gig at a TV studio. But Larry's dreams of flying never went away. One day in 1982, Larry was at an Army surplus store when he saw some weather balloons on display. That gave him an idea. Larry forged a requisition from the TV studio for 45 weather balloons and several tanks of helium. He told the vendor they were going to use them to shoot a commercial. But there was no commercial, although Larry was destined to end up on TV. That's because Larry took those 45 balloons and attached them to a metal lawn chair with plans to sit in that chair and let the balloons lift him off the ground. Larry named his flying contraption the Inspiration 1, and he launched himself from his home in San Pedro, California. He had 3 things with him: a CB radio, a camera, and a BB gun. Each of the balloons stretched to 4 feet across. Larry figured the balloons would lift him up a couple hundred feet into the sky. Then he would use the BB gun to pop some of the balloons and he would just drift slowly back to Earth. But Larry underestimated just how powerful that many balloons really were. All 45 balloons carried Larry up to an altitude of 16,000 feet in the sky. That was high enough for 2 commercial airliners to spot him. The pilots radioed down to the FAA, swearing up and down that they could see a guy on a lawn chair outside their planes. By then, Larry was freaking out. He was terrified that if he popped too many balloons at once, his chair might topple over and send him plummeting to his doom. But he knew he didn't have any other choice. Larry began using the BB gun to shoot the balloons one after another, and he began to slowly make his descent. But at one point, Larry's grip slipped, and he made the terrible mistake of dropping the BB gun. Eventually, Larry's lawn chair dropped low enough to get caught in some power lines in Long Beach. This caused a blackout across town. But despite all this, Larry survived. He was also in big trouble. The Long Beach police arrested him for violating the Federal Aviation Act. Larry had to pay a fine, but since no one got hurt, he was spared a jail sentence. Since then, Larry's balloon flight has become the stuff of legend. He went on to appear in a Timex commercial, and he even did some gigs as a motivational speaker. A few other people tried to reproduce Larry's stunt using their own lawn chairs and balloons. But probably the biggest contribution to history Lawn Chair Larry's balloon flight might be is a little movie you may have heard of about a man with a bunch of balloons and a dream. A little movie from Disney and Pixar called Up.